The question is, did the ref call the fight too early Saturday night, giving Mayweather the win over McGregor? It was the 10th round, and it wasn't like McGregor was on the ground. He didn't get knocked down. Actually, I have it for you, Jeff. I want you to see it.
I saw it.
Oh, you did? You did say? Okay. He had him up against the ropes. He landed a couple of punches.
I don't think the ref called it too early. I don't. I mean, he was on his way down. It was like when the trees, when the guys make that final cut, and right before they go, timber! That's where Conor McGregor was. I think that the ref did the right thing. I mean, his hands were dropped, and he was getting pummeled. Okay, now...
What you probably didn't see, because you didn't see the fight, was the 9th round. And I was watching it, and I was online, and there was some buffering issues, so I didn't get to see a few rounds.
That sounds totally on the up and up.
But the first 3 rounds were totally McGregor. And then after that, I didn't see the next 4. And then when I jumped into the 9th round...
How much did you spend to watch it online?
The next 5. And then the next few rounds...
How much did you pay to watch it online?
That's not important.
With your buffering issues.
All right, that's not important. So, okay, listen, my wife left the room. She was like, I'm not going to be a part of this. You shouldn't be watching this.
You get what you pay for.
And I'm like, I'm just cruising around the internet, and I found a stream of it. Like, I'm not doing anything. I'm not downloading anything. I'm just watching some videos online.
What kind of review did you leave about that website?
Not a very good one, because it kept bumping. But I finally got back to the 9th round, and, McGregor was all over him as far as hugging him. He was exhausted.
Yeah.
But this is what he said right after the fight.
You come through this, so that's what I'm thinking. If I'd have got to that corner and got my composure, then I'm thinking he's had to throw a lot of shots, and I'm still here. Now it's him that has to deal with his energy. So that's why I was a bit upset that it got stopped like that. Let me go to me, unless I go down. Do you know what I mean? He's not a powerful puncher. You know what I mean? He's composed, but he's not powerful. So that shouldn't have been stopped, I don't think.
He was exhausted. This is crazy. This was a stamina fight. And you could tell right in the beginning what Mayweather was doing. He was just standing there with his hands up, and he was just letting McGregor just hit him.
That's how he fought.
And McGregor got several rounds, and it was probably pretty close up until that point.
It wasn't.
But the problem was that he was exhausted, and he couldn't go 12 rounds. And he's not used to go. What is the UFC? A 3-round fight?
Yeah, but it's 5 minutes.
But they're 5 minutes
per round.
But still, and they typically don't go all 3 rounds, because normally somebody gets knocked out in the second or the beginning of the third round.
They go all 3 rounds often. Sometimes there's 5-round fights in the MMA, which is pretty. That's like the I think aren't the title fights like 5 rounds in MMA? Isn't that how that works?
I don't know.
3 rounds are the non-title fights. And
all the fights I've seen have never gone past 3 rounds.
Yeah. I don't know how MMA works, because I don't know how boxing works either, because you say you watched the fight and you think that it was actually pretty close.
To be fair, I watched pieces of the fight because of buffering
the worst
issues.
thing to do is walk around Disneyland while people are trying to find out about the fight, while also walking around Disneyland on their phone, on Twitter.
What are you doing at Disneyland at 9 o'clock at night?
Because
it's still open?
It's the happiest place. It's open till like midnight. You know that? That's like when all the fun stuff.
I thought the fireworks go off at like...
Fireworks go off at 9:30.
Oh, okay.
Fireworks go off at 9:30. Little phantasmic action before that. And but the worst is people at that time. That's like the busiest time at Disneyland. You got parades.
Wasn't it driving you nuts that you didn't know what was going on with this fight?
I didn't care. I didn't care all that much, because I don't know that much about MMA, and I don't know that much about boxing.
I don't think it matters, just to know that the question's always been that boxing is boxing dead. And I think after what we saw on Saturday night, I don't think it is.
Well, because it took the MMA to come and save the boxing in this instance, didn't it? I mean, it took a character from MMA.
But you saw an MMA fighter go toe-to-toe with the best fighter in the world and hang 10 rounds with him. So, I mean, there was something to be said there, too.
What's the most annoying thing is people trying to find out what the results are and follow the action while on Twitter, while walking down crowded sidewalks. That is the worst thing, and that's what a lot of people were doing on Saturday, including me. I'm not gonna lie. I was tuned into Twitter to see what was going on.
Well, see, then you did care.
Yeah, I care to at least a Twitter extent, and a lot of people were saying it was close. Then I went home. Not home. I went back to the hotel room after we were done with Disneyland, and I watched the analysis on ESPN. The guys that were talking about it, Stephen A. Smith and some old boxing codger and Steve Levy, and
what did they say?
They were giving the tail of the tape, the actual statistics. And Floyd Mayweather threw 2/3 of the punches that Conor McGregor threw. So Conor McGregor, I think Floyd Mayweather threw 320. I think Conor McGregor threw like 430.
Okay.
Conor McGregor landed with 111 of those. Floyd Mayweather landed out of 320. Keep in mind, he exerted a lot less energy than the 430.
Right. That's why he won the fight.
And he landed 170 of those. So even if it went to a decision, Floyd Mayweather would have won that fight because he landed more punches. That's how boxing works. Floyd Mayweather knows that's how boxing works, and he's smart about it. But he did come out swinging to some extent because he ended up knocking out Conor McGregor. He did knock out Conor McGregor. It was a technical knockout. And it was a technical, but by the rules of the sport, Floyd Mayweather knocked out Conor McGregor.
Because the ref called the fight.
That's the game you signed up for.
But see, you know what? When there's 300, 400 million at stake, when Vegas is on the line to lose their ass if McGregor wins, I don't know. I don't like it. This is where people will say that it's fixed when the ref jumps in and calls it. Let him knock him to the ground, let him count it out, and let it be over. Now, I'm not a boxing enthusiast. You know, I've seen my fair share of matches, and I've seen my fair share of boxing movies. I want to see the count.
Movies?
I want to see. Yeah, I've seen Rocky.
I want to see. You want it to be
9. He's out, and he throws the hands up, and he's out on the ground. That's what everybody wanted to see. They didn't want to see some ref jump in the middle halfway through the 10th round and go, all right, he's too tired. We got to stop.
Listen, this is a sport that is not immune to the CTE discussion either, okay? This is a sport that needs to protect its participants as well.
Wanting to know if McGregor and Mayweather, did the fight get called too early in the 10th round? Yent says no. Frankie writes in, hell no. She says that McGregor was saved from brain damage. But he said that Mayweather doesn't punch that hard.
CTE thing that I'm talking about. Of course you're going to say that. You're a fighter. That's your job. That's your profession. What are you going to say? Wow, yes, he cleaned my clock and I was about to fall down. You're not going to come out and say that because you start saying stuff like that, then people are really
I agree.
going to.
He was done. I mean, he was tired. He was exhausted in the 9th round. He barely got out of the 9th round. But I don't like the ref jumping in when the fighter's still on both of his feet. Now, granted, he was up against the ropes, but I still let him fall down, then call the fight.
But in this day and age of where we need to protect people in their sports, okay?
All right.
You're not going to allow. They're not.
So they don't end up like Muhammad Ali.
Yeah, boxing is not going to. Well, Muhammad Ali, you know, doesn't he have Parkinson's? No, there's no direct. Well, yeah, he did have Parkinson's. There's no direct correlation between the two that I know of. At least I thought he just got Parkinson's. Although when you see him, you're like, well, the question was in everybody's mind: is that stem from boxing?
Right.
When you see an old football player that has lost their faculties, that question stems right away. You're like, is he one of the 100 and what was it, 110 out of 112? What was the number? 109 out of 110?
Yeah, it was something like that.
Football players?
110 out of 112.
Is he one of the 109 football players that has been diagnosed with some kind of brain damage? I mean, you get that question in the back of your mind. You're like,
I know. It just, all the hype behind this, all the money, everything that went into this. I think it would have been a nice definitive way to do it. But, at the end of the day, Mayweather says that's his 50th win. He's done. He's not fighting anymore. 543-3693 if you want to weigh in. 805 review, poll question at kzoz.com. Hi, thanks for hanging on. Go ahead.
Yeah, did you hear in the post-fight interview, he said, I've been strangled on live TV, meaning, he's been choked out before. Mm-hmm. So, go ahead and let me get beat to the ground. He said it was just fatigue. Fatigue is what I wasn't out. He goes, and we were laughing. It was kind of like he said, let me stumble back to me corner and get my legs back underneath me. Yeah. But let me get beat to the ground. But once again, like you said, he's a fighter, man. He's gonna say that kind of stuff just to be able to stay out there. But he was defenseless, man. He was getting the hell beat out of him.
Yeah, I
and,
know.
you know, his hands were down.
Yeah, once his hands drop like that, the ref would have been ridiculed and criticized if he would have allowed that to go on.
All right.
Okay,
Thank you
and
for the call.
that's what you have to. The ref is there to be the eyes and ears of reason, and what he saw and what most people saw, like Jens, like Frankie, like that gentleman that just called in, saw was a guy that was about to be just pummeled if it wasn't stopped. I mean, hell, I even think that watching it time and time again, that Mayweather may have laid off the gas a little bit, but he's like, hey, dude, are you going to help this guy out a little bit? And then finally the ref comes in and says,
I don't think that happened.
Okay, all right.
But no,
He's like, dude, hey,
he was
ref, you got to do
exhausted.
something with this guy.
He was exhausted. You know, he trained for the race, not the marathon. He just didn't have it in him to go 12 rounds. And if you're going to go 12 rounds, there's a strategic way you have to do it. And obviously, this is what has made Mayweather the greatest. You know, I hate to call him the greatest fighter of all time.
He is.
But he's the greatest strategic fighter of all time.
The greatest
I'm going to throw that in there.
Fighter of all time.
He knows to just really not do anything but be defensive for the first couple of rounds to save that energy for the last few rounds.
Is Michael Jordan the greatest strategic basketball player of all time?
Well, no, that's different.
Why is it different?
Because I'm just talking about the way Mayweather fights.
Michael Jordan had a understanding for his sport that he knew how it worked. Floyd Mayweather has an understanding for his sport. He knows how it works. He knows how to manipulate the outcome with his performance. It might not be the most exciting to watch, but it is. He understands what it takes to win a boxing match.
So here's the other question I have for you. Now that this fight is over and Mayweather has retired, what's next?
For who?
For boxing. Who's the next star? Is this the official end of boxing? Does anybody care about it anymore?
Cotto. I all these different names. Exactly. Exactly.
I mean, it's just like now that he's done, I mean, now it's, I don't know.
Which opens the door for one Conor McGregor.
Think about all the greatness that this fight did for MMA and all the people that are boxing fans that might be into watching it now.
Unless Conor McGregor makes the jump over the boxing.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Why not?
93.3 KCOC rocks.